Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Leonard. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and I've been a Muslim for about 3 years, and I have been Shia for about a year and a half. My journey to Islam has been a very interesting one, to say the least, and I'm very excited to share with you my story.
Imam Hussein is the grandson of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He is the third Shia Imam. And so an Imam is someone who's a spiritual guide. In Islam, if you have someone lead you in prayer, he is your Imam in the sense that he is spiritually guiding you through the prayer. When you have someone who studies Islamic law, he's an Imam because he's spiritually guiding you through the Islamic law. However, for the Shias, the 12 Imams are the people who God has specifically designated to guide the Ummah after the Prophet, peace be upon him. And so Imam Hussein is someone who passed the torch from the moment when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, made Ali the successor on Ghadir Khumm. His authority and his guidance was succeeded through his children, specifically Hasan and Hussein.
What is something that gets your intention of the story of Imam Hussein?
Something that got my attention in the story of Imam Hussein was mainly when I first became a Muslim. I had went into Islam through the Sunni route, mainly because 90% of Muslims or so are Sunni. So it took me a while before I found Shia Islam. But as I was learning about Islam, for me, Hasan and Hussein never grew up. I never got to hear what happened to him after. And so when I started hearing about the Shia and I wanted to investigate more in what they believe in, you're inevitably going to find the story of Karbala, and you're going to hear about the battle that took place and the political situation that occurred after the caliphate of Ali. And so because of that, I was very interested in learning more and learning what the Shia believe in, because I felt like I was not getting both sides of the story. One of the reasons that I want to visit Karbala on foot is mainly because when you look into the story of Imam Hussein, you understand that they went through a lot of hardships. So when they went to Karbala, they were surrounded and were prevented from having access to the Euphrates River. And so Imam Hussein, his companions, and the women and children who were with him did not have access to simple things such as water. And so when I'm visiting Karbala on foot, I understand how difficult of a situation it was for him. Going on this walk, I was able to experience the heat that they inevitably had to experience as well. Where I live, temperatures are mainly around 60 degrees. But when I went on this trip, I got to feel 115 degree weather. I was like, wow, this is actually very intense. And knowing that they didn't have access to water for several days, it really puts things into perspective. And that's why I wanted to go on this walk.
What is your opinion about the ceremonies during Arbaeen?
Wow, a lot of the ceremonies during Arbaeen are very amazing to experience firsthand. I like, one thing is very shocking is that, coming here, I knew that it was a large pilgrimage. Arbaeen is considered the largest pilgrimage in the world. And so after Saddam Hussein, Arbaeen went from 2 million pilgrims to 20 million pilgrims. And during this Arbaeen visit, there was a total of 22 million visitors to Karbala during Arbaeen. And so I've visited New York City before, but coming to Karbala, it felt even more crowded than New York City for most of the time here. And I was not used to this amount, this many people. And it was very exciting because it's, where I'm from, there's not a lot of Shia Muslims. So, coming here, it's like everyone, for the most part, everyone's a Shia Muslim. But you know, visiting Karbala is not just for Shia Muslims. I saw people during this trip, you know, Christians who are wearing crosses, and you know, and I know a lot of people who have brought Sunni friends to Karbala to see the shrine of Imam Hussein. So this is not something that's just for Shia Muslims. This is for, you know, everyone who wants to take part of the ceremony. And going through this pilgrimage, I got to see the shrines, which were breathtaking. I mean, the decorations, what they made everything out of, just the visual of everything is really just, it seems like something that from a movie. It doesn't seem real, but when you see it firsthand, it's amazing. I liked seeing all the things that people had for sale, all the different types of foods and drinks I got to try, and you know, I got to see a lot of people recite du'as, and you know, a lot of parades. It was a really amazing experience, and I recommend anyone who has not performed this pilgrimage to do so.
What did you learn about Imam Hussein and how to play that today?
What I learned from the story of Imam Hussein is I learned about standing up against injustice and tyranny. And Imam Hussein was someone who was on a mission. Imam Hussein knew that Islam can only be preserved through righteous and just leadership. And he wasn't going to submit to the authority of Yazid on any basis, even if it meant that he'd had to sacrifice his own life. And so when I look into the story of Imam Hussein, I think about injustice and tyranny in the world today, and I think, what can a believer do to fight injustice? You know, I think if we have you know, I think it goes from a micro level to a macro level. You know, I think when there's people who are robbing people or not giving due weight, you know, judges who do not judge fairly in courts and things like that, I look at that and I go, you know, there needs to be a hero and a savior to get rid of all this, you know, and so that's why we're waiting for Imam Zaman Azawajal to return, because when he comes, he's going to return the world back to the proper order. And that's why we, as Shia Muslims, we await his return.
How are you?
Very good, alhamdulillah.
What's your feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty excited. I like how everyone's close together. And
Yes.
I like, you know,
The weather is very cool at night.
yeah, nighttime's definitely the time to do it.
Yes. What are you doing right now, Chad? Why?
It's so good, I love Iraq. So tired, so hungry after the walk.
Oh, that's so funny. This is Mr. Hasnain. Yeah, how are you? Hello. How are you? I am Hasan.
Don't walk in.
But
Sometimes you gotta. What I love about this is everyone's giving food, water to drink. That, like, I'm still able to feel like I can keep going, you know.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. Like, if it wasn't for the hospitality of everyone, I wouldn't be able to make to feel as good as I am right now.
What you feel right now? Are you feel tired or you can walk?
I think because it's my first time, I feel excited, so I feel like I can keep going. But I want to make it easy for everyone else in the group. And who knows, I might not know my own limits, so but I'm enjoying every step of the way.
Nice.
Hello, the next
is that I feel like the best religion is to submit to God. You know, you obey God. There's no shortcuts. There's no favoritism. You do what God says. There's either reward or consequences. So that's why I choose Islam, because you're accountable for your actions and your decisions. A lot of other religions, it doesn't matter. You know, when God says you do this, you do it. Right? And so my decision for Shia is to the Alivy and ignore them. It's a problem. It's not something you can brush it to the side.
Okay. It is the first time you come here?
Yes, it's my first time.
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
I'm an English teacher from not from this country. I'm from Iran.
No carrying comment to one out.
What's your feel right now?
I feel really good. We're going from Imam Abbas to Imam Hussein. It's custom or tradition, I believe, to visit Imam Abbas before you visit Imam Hussein.